Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast, a podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1,000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It's my first.
If you're new to the force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today we are covering Season 4, Episode 10, Misgivings. And as always, we begin by popping a recap. Acting on Clay Davis's advice, Burrell seeks to burnish his reputation by ordering the department to double the number of street arrests. The mandate does not sit well with McNulty, who sets his sights instead on cracking a string of church robberies. Later, Davis shows he can play both sides of the political fence by making Carcetti an offer with long-term benefits for both. As the weather turns cold, school officials turn up the heat in Prez's classroom and make it clear to Colvin that there are no exceptions to certain rules. After being apprehended, interrogated, and released, Kevin is advised by Bodie to come clean about the incident to Marlowe. Betrayed again by Herc, Bubbles decides to get even with the unwitting help of a local... minister. I was like, what the heck? Busted by Carver, Namond spends the night in the precinct, then is released to Colvin's home, where he proves surprisingly an exemplary guest. Donut's latest joyride ends badly. Randy is stigmatized at school. Chris takes care of Michael's problem. The episode was written by Ed Burns. It was directed by Ernest Dickerson, and it premiered on November 19th, 2006.
Okay.
All right, Ellie, why don't you kick it off by busting out that epigraph?
World going one way, people another.
Mm-hmm.
Said by Poot.
Yep. Yeah, this podcast is going one way, but you want it to go the other way. I don't know, something. Okay. All right, well, before we get into the episode itself, we have to go over your predictions once again.
Okay.
Quite well. You had Herc and Bubbles. You said hope Bubbles is okay. We'll appeal to somebody else. Share what happened with Herc with McNulty or Carver. No, not exactly, but he did bring somebody else into the fold.
He sure did.
Cinder will go to somebody. And Herc is going to get in trouble for his terrible policing. So it's nothing with Cinder really, although he basically said he told Herc
to tell the truth.
And
he
Herc is
tell on him.
Yeah, basically under the gun, and then he, with the whole thing with the ministers. So we'll have to see how that turns out.
Yep.
Randy is going to get beat up. People will find out he's a snitch. So you got that right.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to him.
Up,
yeah, he didn't get beat up.
I think
but
he's gonna be.
Okay.
So hold on to that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to be
repeat.
Okay. All right, fair enough. But now the word is on the street for sure. So you got that right.
Okay.
Prez will come up with a scheme to teach the kids when Donnelly is not around. Boom.
Okay,
100%.
Yes.
Good job.
I was happy to see that.
Something that made me laugh, which we'll cover later. Omar is going to think of a way to get Marlowe arrested. So, no, not really. It doesn't look like he's out to get Marlowe, at least at this point. He's just surveilling. So
yes.
We haven't seen anything about that. And then things will keep getting better in the special class.
No.
So
that is wrong. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like it right now. Shepherdson thinks this is like the biggest waste of time ever.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the...
That is definitely not what I expected.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, yeah, I keep trying to figure out a way to give you credit, but no, unfortunately, it did not
Let's
go
be
well.
honest, okay? I didn't get that one.
You said something would happen with Burrell, Rawls, and Daniel. So you're right on that. There is like this triangle going on there. I did not catch what you actually said. So.
I don't remember what I said either.
So I'm going to give you credit anyway.
Okay,
I wrote that down.
Sure.
And Michael will try to kill his stepfather. She got that
yes.
right. So.
Oh, my God.
Good job.
Yeah, although I thought Michael would do it himself.
Yeah.
So, glad he didn't.
Okay, well, there's some interesting discussion in all the pieces of matter. There's some fascinating stuff about that particular scene, and Alan Sepinwall also has some interesting commentary about this. So, but other than that, I wanted to just mention a little thing about the restaurant scene from last episode. I didn't catch this the first time, so just as a rehash, Julio plays Namond.
Yeah,
He was talking about how his experience in that particular restaurant was pretty authentic. Like he was actually saying, I didn't really. It's not like just because he had experience, he was just an actor. Yeah, so it was very authentic to him, which I just thought was kind of a funny little anecdote from that scene. So, but nevertheless, like it was a really, it's such a powerful scene, I think, overall. So it's funny to think that it was actually something that they were going through. So, but on that, any questions or anything you want to cover ahead of time?
No. There's nothing for me.
Well, let's go then.
Okay. Let's see here. What have I got? I've got Burrell Won't Budge.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Booking. McNulty passes Adulting 101. Snitches get stitches. Pedos get punished.
Ooh.
Shepherdson wants scores and Herc in hot water.
Nice.
Okay, so let's start with Burrell won't budge.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got State Senator Clay Davis meeting with Burrell and Reed, right? That's Bobby Reed,
Yeah.
the other guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's the internal affairs guy.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And he tells him not to worry that Carcetti is running everything through Rawls first. You know, they all know that Carcetti and Rawls can't just push him out because, you know, of his race and his alliances. And instead, he should try to impress the new mayor with, you know, some kind of actual newfangled police work, right? And make it seem like it was Carcetti's idea to keep him in the first place. But Burrell seems kind of like he can't really even think of what that would be and doubtful that it would work anyhow.
You imagine Rawls sitting in this chair?
Never happened. In this town?
Yeah, well, we weren't supposed to have a white mayor either.
He already overreached, putting Rawls in charge. Deep fucking facto.
Motherfucker ain't even sworn in yet. Already he's got feelers out. I know for a fact he called the deputy chief in Pittsburgh, friend of mine. Promised him pie in the sky.
Shit, partner. All you gotta do is show Carcetti and everybody else that they already got the man for the job. They ain't got to look no further. The indispensable man. It was Royce holding you back, Urban. Now out from under you shine.
Clay, he's saying everything goes through Bill Rawls. Any move I try to make...
Still the commissioner, ain't you? You give an order, they gonna jump.
Yeah, but Carcetti...
What are you gonna do? Fire you? He just showed you he don't have balls enough. You just need to give Carcetti a little something. Make him start seeing you in a new light.
Like what?
Some kind of police shit, hell, I don't know. Something that looks good to Carcetti, so he can say it was his idea to keep you all along.
Police shit?
Well, whatever it is y'all do for a living. What? Just take care of your end and let your friends handle theirs.
Later, Davis meets with Carcetti and Wilson. Davis says he wants to clear the air after he basically stole money from them, right? So that he would do one thing, give them particular endorsements that he didn't. He brings up Burrell. Carcetti admits that he's looking for a replacement for Burrell. Wilson says that once they find a better option, they are hoping that Burrell's supporters are going to come around. Davis hints that approving the commissioner's pay raise might be tricky and offers to help him with that. Davis is just laying it down.
Oh, yeah.
And to help with the ministers. And what in return, they wonder, well, you know, it sounds like you're going to make it to be a state rep and we might work together. So, he's asking for a favor down the road, basically, right?
Yep.
And Wilson knows Davis is running a hustle. He says that he and Burrell are thick as thieves, but they can't quite tell what the end game is. And we get a lot of really good sheets in this episode from Davis.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yep, both from Davis and from Norman, which
Yes.
I appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to think about Davis. So Davis, you know, he was Burrell has been looking out for him for, it seems like, for a while.
Yep.
And so now here's Davis looking out for Burrell. And I guess that's like, so he's basically just trying to play both sides, but I think it really is in service of trying to keep Burrell on.
Yeah.
So I think Clay Davis probably is like, we learn later about his particular feelings about Daniels, but at this point in the episode, he doesn't know that Daniels is being lined up. Right. He just knows that it's probably like, you know, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, right? So he's thinking, I don't want to have a new person that I have to deal with. I got this person that's already on the hook for me. So So anyway, so and you know, Isaiah Whitlock is just absolutely killing this particular episode. It's
for
so
sure.
good, yeah.
For sure. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Exactly.
Even if he's a smarmy character.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, back at the Western, we have roll call. This is later. Mello brings up a string of church break-ins. McNulty caught the last one. We finally see McNulty again. Mello suggests having him coordinate with another guy, another police officer, Baker, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mello then pushes a new plan. They're going to arrest people for offenses against quality of life is the way I took it, to boost stats. So these are disorderlies, public indecency, things. Somebody mentions, oh, they did that, and maybe it's Santangelo. They tried that in New York. It didn't work there. And Mel says, this comes straight from the commissioner. Sorry, guys. McNulty and Santangelo, they hate it. They bring up the whole, having your alcohol in a paper bag. It used to be a sacrosanct thing, right? That's something that Colvin talked about. But Mello says it doesn't matter. They just got to do it. Just got to do it.
Yep. Yeah. So of course it's a reminder of the speech that Colvin gave. And then, so broken windows theory is curious. Where it was lauded in New York City apparently, and then I read in Freakonomics, the book Freakonomics, that apparently it's like it was kind of what's a correlation, not causation.
Okay.
And one of the bigger, probably more effective reasons that crime went down in New York City was because they actually just added to the police force and there was more police presence in general. So broken windows theory, like that's kind of was the impetus for the hiring of the police, but it was actually just the fact that the police were actually there.
More of them and they were around.
And people were less likely to commit crime because they knew that there were more of them around.
Exactly.
So, anyway.
Yep, that seems like that would be the correlation there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Colicchio, he's A-okay with this.
Absolutely.
He jumps right into it. They're outside a bar, I think. He gets a guy who's got malt liquor on him in a brown bag. Very happily pours the drink onto the guy's shoes. McNulty and Baker are on the beat too. Baker is giving out parking violations. He says, you might not like this, but I'm just following my orders.
Yep.
And McNulty says, patrol cops, they have one real dictatorship left, deciding how to waste their shift. He does show Baker some paperwork, explains that he has noticed a pattern in the church burglaries. Baker seems kind of, surprised by his resourcefulness, but McNulty is real police. They find out which churches haven't been hit, and Baker agrees to go after it with them. Meanwhile, a crowd starts pouring out of the bar, and it's getting rowdy. They are incensed by the tickets that they have received. And McNulty says, to kind of finish up the scene in a very ironic way, like, no justice, no peace.
Violation. Parking in the bus stop, expired registration.
First class police work, Baker.
Yeah, well, this is the word from up on high. Straight from the 8th floor downtown.
Blessed bosses juking stats for the new administration.
I know you think it's bullshit, but I spend my shift where they tell me.
Baker, let me tell you a little secret. Patrolling officer on his beat is the one true dictatorship in America. We can lock a guy up on a humble, we can lock him up for real, or we can say fuck it. Pull under the expressway and drink ourselves to death. And our side partners will cover it. So no one, and I mean no one, tells us how to waste our shift. Pull the reports on those church burglaries.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a pattern. Times and locations. They're working west by northwest through Sandtown, Winchester. The last three here, and here. These ones in blue are the churches they haven't hit, closest to the ones they have.
And you got all this from the incident reports?
That's why we do the paperwork.
This could get out of hand.
That's what we want, isn't it? More arrests? Come on. No justice, no peace.
Yeah, what's that a reference to?
I don't know.
I could swear I'd heard that before, but I can't remember where.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Should we look it up?
Sure, we'll look it up while we're talking.
Okay.
But in any case, yeah, this is teeing up the life lesson, but Colicchio's response to this is just, it's just
God,
like a
he's
porn.
such a
so terrible.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and of course, like you know, you just feel bad for the guy who just, you know,
Yeah.
he just wants to drink a beer.
Exactly.
You know,
And
so-
it was always okay before. It's
Yeah.
just, it's kind of like when they were in the classroom and Naaman's like, but I didn't even know that was a rule yet. Like, you know, it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to think of the world going one way. I feel like this is like one of the first inklings of that, right? So you like, you know, you're trying to turn over a new leaf, but in fact, instead you have these guys like, you know, Buddha's talking about Marlowe and being cold, but here's Colicchio being just as cold as, you know, with all this authority, you know what I mean? And so, whereas you have like McNulty trying to like actually solve problems and things like that. So it's just that was like the first time where I was like, that's where this, you know, the people going one way is, you know, evident. So it's unfortunate. Of course, like then they lose all the, what's the word? You know, any goodwill they're trying to build is just completely destroyed in this one incident.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Oh, no justice, no peace is a powerful protest slogan, meaning that lasting peace is impossible without fairness, equity, and accountability for wrongs, particularly systemic injustice like racism or oppression. Okay, so let's see here. Now you know.
Yeah.
By the end of that shift, McNulty and Baker bring in 2 suspects. The desk sergeant there is about to send these guys to wait with the rest of all of these low-level arrests until he hears that these guys are burglars. He's actually relieved to see some actual criminals, since the station is full of people who are locked up for just petty crimes. All right, shall I continue?
Yeah, not much to it.
Okay. Mello takes his concerns about the push for arrest to Daniels. He's like, what's going on? The election's over, right? Like, why all of a sudden we have this push for arrests and numbers? And, you know, Mello makes the case. He's like, this is supposed to make life better for the people in the neighborhood, but this is the neighborhood. These are the neighborhood folks that are getting locked up at this point. And they try to figure out where in the heck this is coming from. Daniels also asks kind of the response. Mello says that half the police officers kind of like it and half are not a fan. And Mello also says he thought a new mayor would make a change in this kind of stuff. So a little disappointment there.
Yeah.
Swear to God, I'm seeing citations for jaywalking. We're locking people up for open containers, for disorderly, for loitering.
The neighborhood people, sometimes they appreciate quality of life arrests.
Except we're locking up the neighborhood people. Some of my guys, all they see are the stats. I mean, the election's fucking over, right? Who are we doing this for?
Is this coming from Burrell or Rawls?
We got it from the chief of patrol. It's rolling downhill for sure.
Morale?
Split down the middle, I'd say. The officers that love the stat are jazzed.
The rest of you?
We don't know where to turn. I thought a new hump as mayor might change this shit, not ramp it up.
Yeah, I think this is a nice setup for Daniel's discussion with Carcetti, right?
Yeah.
And really, like, you know, but also like knowing that, you know, the line about neighborhood people seem to, you know, appreciate the broken windows there. And he's like, except we're locking up all the neighborhood people. It's a great response. So,
yes.
Yeah, and then we've talked about this already before, and Rawls' comment about people that rise through the ranks based on the stats abide in them. And so this is how and it actually goes back to Daniel's speech to Carver in season 1, where he was saying, show them that, you know, there's some other kind of game to be played, and that's the game they'll play.
Right.
And this is what a lot of these guys have been taught, is like, oh, if I just get the stats up, which is what Marimo does too, right? Then I will rise up the ranks. And even though it doesn't actually do any good, meanwhile, here's McNulty saying, I don't give a shit about stats. I'm going to actually do, you know, substantive police work.
Right.
And he doesn't, because he doesn't care about rising up the ranks. So,
He doesn't.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay, let's see here. Daniel goes straight to Carcetti. He lays out what this new strategy of Burrell's is. And, you know, basically he's making a case for him to stay by, quote, juking the stats. And he's reasserting control of the department. Carcetti is not very happy about this. It's the exact opposite of what he wanted. He asked Daniels if Rawls knows what's going on and why didn't Daniels just go to Rawls? And Daniels says basically that it was a test, right? He wants to find out if Carcetti is serious. If Rawls already knew about what Burrell was doing and Carcetti did nothing, then change was never really going to happen. Daniels thinks, either Rawls either agrees with Burrell or I think is waiting for him to get fired. And Carcetti reminds Daniels, hey, you have my word on trying to make these changes and me backing you. And Carcetti thanks him for going outside the chain of command. And Daniels says, well, I'm not going to make a habit of that.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's a great conversation. I really like this Daniels Carcetti. First of all, two amazing actors. I just really like their exchange, and I just excited to see them hopefully team up more in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After your phone call, I checked. It came directly from Burrell. He bypassed Rawls after I specifically told him he was...
Burrell's making a play for you to keep it.
By, just, what did you call it?
Juking the stats.
It's unbelievable. It runs completely counter to all my discussions with Rawls, with you, with everyone.
He's also serving notice. He's reasserting control of the department. He probably figures if you can't fire him, then you can't fire him.
And does Rawls know?
My guess is Rawls heard about it days ago from half a dozen district commanders.
Why wouldn't he come to me?
Talk to him.
Why did you come to me? Why not go to Rawls?
Because I need to know if you're serious. If Rawls already came to you and this shit is still going on, then you're okay with it, which is for me a problem. If he didn't come to you, then either he's okay with it, which is also a problem, or he's letting it go, trying to give Burrell enough rope for you to get angry and fire the man for insubordination. But I need to know where you stand.
Well, I gave you my word.
Yes, sir. You did.
Well, thanks for going outside the chain of command.
Don't expect me to make a habit of it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think this time for whatever reason, I just I like how Daniels is kind of presenting Carcetti with essentially the one of two paths, right? In that, like, okay, it's either you're okay with this or Rawls is okay with this. Either way is kind of unacceptable, but you, Carcetti, have the choice of which one is true or not. Yeah. And so it all got set up very nicely, I feel like, about, with Burrell, Davis saying to Burrell, like, he already showed you can't fire you, so go do whatever it is y'all do for a living, which I thought was a hilarious line. And then, it leads all the way to Daniels, which is like, look, he's saying that you can't fire him. So, whatever you told Rawls is no longer really relevant because, ultimately chain of command still exists. And so you have to decide, Carcetti, how you're going to navigate this. So it's, it really ties it up very, very nicely, I think. And it kind of leads to, like, where is this going to go next? So
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Davis has set up a meeting with Campbell and Burrell. Campbell's the president of the city council, right? Yes. Davis and Burrell are trying to sell around the idea that Daniels would be a bad choice for commissioner. Davis says, he doesn't listen to anyone, only Carcetti. Davis asks Campbell to hold back part of the pay raise that Carcetti wants. So it would only be $25,000 instead of $60,000. And that this would give Burrell time to prove himself and show that Daniels isn't who they think he is. And then Davis calls Carcetti, leaves a message with the staff there that he has secured the salary bump, that thing he said he would help with. And also, and write this down, that Davis has his interests at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a funny... that part is funny because I guess he must not realize that Carcetti and Norman know he's pulling a con.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, does he think they're idiots? I guess he does.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he just thinks, even though I did that, I can still win him over.
Right.
He has that level of confidence in himself.
Yeah, I guess that's true, isn't it? I don't know. I took it. I just thought it was such a strange. He's trying to kiss ass, I guess, but and I guess he just doesn't know that Carcetti and Norman don't trust this guy at all. Right. So whatever he's saying, they just he thinks that he's selling it, but which is just kind of it's just interesting dynamic.
Yep.
But yeah, man, he is Davis is just in fine form in this whole episode.
Yeah.
Really
Oh my God.
playing as many sides as possible.
He is. He's a little like Prop Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to baby booking.
Okay.
And I'm going to actually start with Donut. And this is the opening here. Donut joyriding around the Western in a stolen car until he is spotted by none other than Officer Walker. And Donut tries to get away. Those driving skills are pretty lacking at this point. He is smashing into parked cars. He's just flying through streets. Walker's right on his heels until Walker then crashes into another woman's car. He loses Donut. He yells at the woman who's like, what the, who are you? And as Donut runs away, he trades jackets with another kid. But Walker tracks him down, finds him in his usual hangout, knows it's him. Donut is there with Kennard. He stands behind Kennard.
Yeah,
this little guy is going to protect him.
Yeah.
Donut pretends he doesn't know anything. He tries to run, and Walker just snaps. Oh, I hate this scene so much. He just grabs him, catches him, and he just starts breaking his fingers. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's terrible.
Yep. Yeah, so a couple things I wanted to mention. Yeah, it is brutal. I have to admit that I was pretty pissed at Donut when he's crashing
he's
into all
like
these
going
cars.
back and forth and back and forth in all these cars.
I did want some kind of repercussion, but not this. I'll just feel like that is absurd. So a couple things. So I love the shot of Donut from the windshield. Because his head is just barely clearing, which is hilarious.
Just so low in the seat.
And then Walker just looking and just being like, "You got to be shitting me," which I just thought was also hilarious. And then I thought there was an interesting connection. We'll obviously see this later, but about when Naaman gets grabbed up by Carver.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Donut has braids and, is just a much more common hairstyle. And so all he had to do was switch jackets.
Yep,
although
exactly.
not really, because obviously.
Well, yeah,
Walker
it didn't
found him
exactly
there.
work, but I mean, he got close to pulling it
Sure.
off.
So, and then finally, I wanted to add something from Alan Sepinwall. I was like, I just had to share it because I could swear it was in All the Pieces Matter, but it turns out it was from his interview with David Simon. So Sepinwall asked David Simon about why Officer Walker, a black officer, would be such a tormentor to, essentially other black people. So David Simon said, Walker was conceived as black because tellingly, when Ed and I were on the corner in West Baltimore, we noted that many of the more brutal, more shady patrolmen were actually black. Why is this so? Hard to say, but perhaps a mercenary or brutal patrolman is camouflaged in some sense if he is African American. A white officer engaging in predatory practices in the ghetto would be subject to all kinds of racial us against them stereotypes and stigmas. With a black officer behaving so, the racial politics are rendered moot. And from the perspective of the black cops, many of whom have working class roots and who have reached their newfound authority by having to eschew the temptations of the street and keep to a moral code, there is often, I have found, a contempt for the black underclass that some white cops would not dare exhibit. It's perhaps easier for a black cop having reached his station in life to heap contempt on those who have not done so, saying to himself, I did it, why the hell can't they? White cops as outsiders may not be subject to the same self-conscious judgments. Walker is more a function of the class consciousness than race consciousness. I get a sense that people who still think police brutality is linked to racism rather than classism are about 10 years behind the street, which I just thought was very eloquently put. And I definitely feel that is much more. I mean, I feel like we connected it to some of the, when the dock workers were using racist terms, I felt like it was classist, not racist, because they had a broad mix of race, or it was certainly white and black working next to each other, and yet they would still use racist terms, and it just felt like it was more classist than it was racist. So fascinating. I found this a fascinating
that's a
concept.
really interesting observation.
And just a
set of observations.
And with all things, whenever you're wondering if this really happens, chances are, if you yourself do not have like direct connection to this world, chances are good David and Simon and Ed Burns saw it firsthand.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's a good bet to trust them. So.
Oh, okay. Let me see here.
Sorry, I got you all. That was a long diatribe.
That was really interesting. Okay. Later, we see Donut. He comes up to Naaman, Michael, and Kennard. He's telling them about what happened, although I guess Kennard knows. He's got bandages around all his fingers, pretty much. Naaman says that they should fuck him up. And, well, he's an officer. He can't do that. And Donut tells him that Walker said the next time he catches him, he'll be dead. Is that going to stop Donut? Nope.
Hell no.
No, hell no.
No, he says fuck no.
No. Yeah.
Fuck
there you
no.
go.
Yeah.
Just then Carver rolls in. He makes a clean bust. He arrests Naaman, finding his drugs. And how is it that he found him so easily? His hair.
That's right.
That hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Listen to your dad. Weepe told him that hair is going to be so easy to spot.
Yep.
1 and 1 play.
Damn, son. He did a number on you.
Who was it?
Officer Walker. Walker be evil.
What up?
4. Yeah, we ought to fuck him up.
Walker? Yo, he the police.
I'm just saying.
Yo, he said next time I steal a car, I'm gonna find myself dead.
You gonna do as he say?
Fuck no. As soon as I get this shit off, I be running his ass all over town. So shit.
Told you, Naaman. Gave you fair warning, didn't I?
I ain't done nothing.
Kick the cans. Got you cold. Shit, with hair like that, I can make you from East Baltimore.
Get the fuck off of me, man.
Shut up.
Look what I found.
That ain't fucking mine.
Hands on the car. Spread legs.
I ain't fucking got nothing.
Shut
on
up.
me, man.
How you like it so far? Having fun? Guess what? Gets better. In your head. Watch your head.
So Naaman's been arrested. He can't reach his mom because she is out of town shopping and seeing shows. So Carver tells him he has to spend the night in juvie booking. Better have a toothbrush, they always say. I've heard that before.
Yep, good.
Naaman gets kind of quiet instantly. Carver kind of, probes, like probe is maybe not the right word there, because Naaman says, well, he has heard that guys have gotten there. It's like, it's probably, not true. It's like, well, not from what I hear. And he kind of starts breathing heavy. He's got nobody else. He's got an aunt, but they can't get a hold of her, or he doesn't know her number. And so Carver, you see him soften, and he relents. He decides to let Naaman sleep on a bench at the station instead.
Yep. Yeah, it is curious to think about, I guess looking back, again, I guess at this point it's pretty well established that Carver has changed quite a lot.
Yeah.
So, whereas with Bodie, who was a year older than I think Naaman probably is at this point.
Yeah.
And yet, can you imagine them letting Bodie be, just rest on the couch overnight? So
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. So afterward, it's the next day, I guess. Carver tells Naaman he can't stay at the station anymore, but there's still no adult family member to come get him. And he asks, is there any adult that we can call, any adult you trust? And he says, well, I got one teacher, Colvin. You know him? It's very cute. Oh yeah, tall guy, bald, black guy. Yep. He knows him for sure. So, and just stop me whenever you want.
No, sure.
Okay, Colvin, Carver, and Naaman meet up. Colvin brings, I love it. Colvin brings up, all the FUs Naaman gave him when they first basically met. And like, oh, and you call me? Really? Yeah. And Colvin says, well, maybe he should go to baby booking. He should go to juvie. And Naaman says, please, Mr. Colvin, don't make that happen. And then Colvin relents, and he agrees to call his wife.
Mm-hmm. It'll only be for tonight. Mama gets back from New York tomorrow. Your call. The young man seems to think highly of you, boss. He invoked your name with a measure of respect.
It was but a few weeks ago I was in a room with him being called everything but a child of God. Mr. Colvin, sir. Fuck you.
Yo, at least I said mister.
So what was the charge?
Slinging. They've been out there a few weeks or so. First pop, second warning for me.
Maybe we should put him on the juvenile bus. You want so bad to be a gangster? Maybe it's time to get a taste of what a real lockup's all about, you know?
Come on, Mr. C, don't do me like that.
I made him sleep on the DU bench last night. That counts for anything.
And anybody else? I mean, friend, relative, anybody.
You've always been good with the knuckleheads, boss.
All right, let me go call my wife.
Oh my gosh, that was my husband calling me and telling me to go do this. Oof. But Naaman does stay with the Colvins overnight, and he is polite and he is charming. He eats all his dinner. He says, yes, ma'am. He would love some cobbler a la mode, which he doesn't know what that means at first. He also accidentally learns Colvin's old nickname because his wife uses it, Bunny. And Colvin shuts that down very quickly with a physical threat.
Sure.
Naaman asks about his kids. They are all grown up, going to college, and doing well. Colvin's wife is very pleased with their guest, and she leaves, and Colvin says he's doing an Eddie Haskell on them, which I do remember Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver. Did you ever see reruns of Leave It to Beaver?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. He is, what do you call it? Like obsequious. He's like to the adults, like, oh, Mrs. Cleaver, of course I'll do whatever, and then the rest of the time he's just like a POS.
Yeah, that was my read on as well. So,
yes, totally. That's who he is.
I always thought it was like, I don't know what until this episode I had never actually bothered to look it up, but yeah, that was my understanding. Yeah. I kind of thought it was like, oh, he's such a good kid and all that, but no, it's definitely two-faced.
Yes, it's two-faced. Yep.
Yeah. I also liked, Colvin's like, it was like a week ago where I was being called anything but a child of God, which I just thought was just what a great line that is.
Oh my goodness. Okay, the next day, so he stays the night there with Colvin. And the next day, he brings Naaman back to his home. His mom, Delanda's out there, and he explains the situation. But Naaman's mom just tears into both of them.
Yep.
Leave my son the F alone,
yep.
Basically. She is angry that Naaman was scared of going to baby booking, and she could clearly care less about Colvin's kindness. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This actress, I mean, my goodness, she is really good at being a terrible mother.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. I love hearing that she's actually like the nicest person ever. Makes me feel better. But
yeah.
Wow. I just couldn't believe it.
Hey, Ma. How's New York?
Hey, Miss Bryce. How are you?
Who asking?
This is my teacher, Ma. Mr. Colvin.
Why he here? You in trouble?
You stayed at our house last night. I mean, you being in New York and all. You tell her.
Cops picked me up saying I was slinging. They was going to send me to baby booking.
But we took them in.
You leave my son the fuck alone. And you afraid to go to baby booking? The fuck is wrong with you, boy? Get in the damn house.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, here comes this guy with her son. She says, he says, Miss Bryce. Her response is, who asking?
Yes. Why does she even want him to keep going to school in this situation? I don't even understand why she wants him to go to school and
question.
do this. Like, it seems like she doesn't care. She just wants him to make money.
Right. That's a good question. I don't know.
Or maybe she's worried that they'll come after her they're not really going after anybody for truancy, but maybe she's just worried about that aspect of things.
Yeah, I wonder. That's a good question. I don't know, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm ready to move on if you are.
Sure.
Okay. We're going to just take a quick moment to acknowledge McNulty.
Okay.
Passing Adulting 101, as I like to say.
Sure.
McNulty goes to dinner. I think probably this is the same night as he, or maybe it's a different night that he brings in the robbers, the burglars. But he goes to dinner with Bunk and all their kids, just dads and kids. It's very nice. And oh my gosh, McNulty's kids are so big in this. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, they're so big. They have lower voices. It is wild. So yeah, they're kind of talking about what they want to do, and it's fun. Elena then shows up to pick up the boys, and she is impressed. She asks about homework. Well, it's done. Dad helped him. And Bunk asks her if she wants a drink, and she'll have a white wine, but McNulty will turn down a drink. So at this point, it's just the two of them at the table. All the boys have left the arcade. Bunk has gone too. And they're just kind of smiling at opposite ends of the table. He asks, how's Dennis? Yeah. He's Dennis. It sounds like it's kind of a come and go, not very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, about Beatty. Life is good with Beatty. And she says it's a shame that their marriage ended just as he is finally growing up.
Mm-hmm.
They're sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was just a subtle little touch here. So when you watch each of them and they're each ask each other, there's a slight pushing on the camera, which I think just kind of reemphasize that there's like a little bit more of a connection there.
Yeah.
Which I
think the connection.
That's how I took it.
Okay.
But it's curious because I wonder why of all the kind of tropes and cliches you see in TV shows, it's curious to me that The Wire would try to make it seem like there was, at least like Elena was, kind of gaining attraction back for McNulty kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's a minor thing, but it is kind of like, I guess more than anything else, it's kind of demonstrating that McNulty is like, has really turned over this new leaf, is that there's this woman that knows all of his flaws and all of the things that, drove her away. And now she's kind of like, wow, all those things seem to be gone. So it really just shows that he's where he is right now. And of course, like compound that with his real police work with Officer Baker.
Right.
And now you have this like, picture perfect kind of type person. So
it's in a very good place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for McNulty.
Sorry, but I thought
ahead.
that was one interesting connection. So Bunk's son.
Yeah. Same guy from the ball game?
That is a good question, actually. I'm sure it was. But, he also said he wanted to be a pediatric neurosurgeon.
Yes.
Not the older one, but the younger one. And so, which is the same thing Albert said.
Right.
So
I know. I thought that was interesting, too.
And I'll be honest with you, like, God, I probably shouldn't be admitting this, but I actually never paid that close attention to the son.
Okay.
And so I was like, wait, is Albert... Like the first couple of times, because this is the only time you see him.
It is such a particular thing to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, nevertheless, it is not the same actor.
Okay.
So Albert is a
I
kid,
assumed that it was.
Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting though that they made that connection that you have these male role models or these these role models that
like Ben Carson.
a lot of young people might respond to. So.
Yep. Okay. Snitches Get Stitches.
Okay.
Bodie and Poot are talking about the cold weather. Bodie would like to go to a warm place and do some marlin fishing and some beautiful water. And Poot says, oh, well, when you get down there, it's not going to look like that because of global warming. And he jokes, the reason we're cold is because we're getting old.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Little Kevin finally comes back after he was interrogated by Herc. He says that the cops hauled him in to talk to him about Lex's murder. He says, I was just a humble. Uses that phrase a couple of times. They question him. Nothing happened. He got let go. Little Kev tells him, it's fine. I didn't say shit to anyone. And Bodie, and I can't do it. I want to say Booty for some reason. Bodie and Poot say, we're not the ones that you need to convince. And they both tell him to go straight to Marlowe first and explain himself. Make sure that Marlowe knows before he hears a different way. Seems like good advice.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Seems like really good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not.
Damn.
Lemon fry.
I ought to go somewhere warm for the winter.
Lemon fry.
Where? I saw on Animal Planet marlin fishing. Like Florida, the Bahamas. That shit looks sweet. The water was like this color, man.
Man, it ain't gonna be that cold this year.
How you know?
Global warming.
So why is it so cold already?
Yo, we just getting old. True that.
Yo, where the fuck you been?
City jail for a day and a half till they recalled me. And my grandma got sick, so I was over there for a while.
Popo hit you with a charge, huh?
Just a humble, false statement and shit, saying I wasn't who I really was.
Yeah, so why they was asking about you like that?
Mm-hmm.
They tried talking to you?
Yeah, about some murder.
Which one?
It don't matter which murder, cause I ain't say shit to them bitches though.
Yeah, well, I ain't the one you need to convince.
Lemon fry. Lemon fry.
Well, I gotta convince him.
You know what I'm saying, yo? Popo come asking about you, they snatch your ass up. You out of pocket for a few days. Oh yeah, he'll definitely hear about it.
I ain't say nothing to nobody. That's why they gave me the humble, dumped my ass in central booking, cause I ain't say a fucking word to none of them.
Yeah, so go tell him that shit.
Shit, man, with me, I'd go to him first.
Yeah, Kev, you know, definitely jump out in front of that, man, because if they gotta come looking for you, it's gonna look like you got something to hide.
Definitely.
That Lemon fry out here. Ghetto bird special, 2 for 1.
No, it definitely is not. So, yeah, I mean, and so I guess I'll just mention here that this is like where I feel like J.D. Williams' turn in this particular season really takes off. Like he had some scenes here and there. He's been probably in maybe this is episode 10, so maybe like 6, 7, I guess. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. But anyway, but now he's really like gonna have some focus, and in this particular episode, I mean, he just does such a terrific job. I just think all the way through, I'm just really love his performance. So
yeah, agree. Okay, well, Kevin does exactly that. He goes to Marlo, he explains the situation, and he does say, too, that he told Randy to pass on the message. Mm-hmm. And, Chris, I think, is the one that explains Randy is friends with Michael. Mm-hmm. And Marlo says, well, you were supposed to do that, right? They're not crazy about him not having handled it himself, but he swears he didn't tell Randy what happened to Lex. Mm-hmm. Did he? Or did Randy find out? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he told him.
He did tell him. Yeah,
directly,
that's what. Okay, yes. Yeah. So we see Marlo nod to Monk, and as Kevin leaves, a couple of guys follow him and then shove him into the back of an SUV. Chris asks about Randy. Marlo says Randy isn't a real threat. Snoop says, well, he's a snitch anyway. Then Slim shows up just as Kevin is being driven off. He says, it's getting to be that time. And Joe wanted him to check in. So.
Who the fuck is Randy?
Just a little hopper from around the way.
Man, he ain't in the game, but he be with Michael and them. And he talking to police.
I know it. I know he did. Because he was the one I told, go tell Lex, go up to the alley. Patrice is waiting.
You were supposed to do that.
Yeah, I know, but this way, try to keep some distance between me and Lex, right?
You tell us, Randy, what happened to Lex?
No, I swear.
Go, motherfucker. Fuck you still waiting for?
Yeah, so I've thought about this quite a lot. Because I think about how did Kevin fuck up?
Yeah, right.
So obviously it's clear, like they hit the no, I swear.
Yeah.
Right. Marlo's like, okay, that's obviously a lie, or Chris is like, and even like his whole scheme of like, why did you tell Randy? Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? So. But I think it was like, no, I swear I didn't do it. Like they clearly
it was a
said
lie,
you did, and therefore we can't trust you.
Yep.
And so that part, so it does kind of make sense why they would kill him. And I was like, what would he have been his better play?
Yeah.
Right. No. So obviously, like, you know, once he says, "Did you tell Randy what happened to Lex?" If he had just said no, and instead of "no, I swear," but the "no, I swear" is like a tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it actually backs up a little bit further, and actually it's a part of the dialogue that was unsaid, which is like, how did they start talking about Randy in the first place? Well, Kevin probably gave it up.
Yeah.
So whereas if he had said when he was talking to Bodie, Kevin was, he said Bodie was asking what murder, and Kevin played dumb. He's like, doesn't matter. I didn't say shit. Right. Even though, because if he had told Bodie that it was about Lex, then Bodie would have been like, wait, why are they picking you up about that?
Yeah.
So, but I think that my guess is that Kevin said that the police said it was Randy, or it was Randy that gave him up.
Yep.
As kind of an offering in some way.
Right.
And that's how he ended up going down this road. Whereas if he just walked in and said to Marlo, I was picked up by the police. They asked me about a murder. I didn't say shit to anybody, and that's it. And they'd be like, why'd you get picked up? I don't know.
Yeah.
They picked me up. They asked me a bunch of questions.
Yep.
I didn't say shit to them, and that was it.
Yeah.
He would have gotten out.
Yeah, too many nonsensical details.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But he added this thing about Randy, and that got him hooked in, and that was it. So that's my theory. And so once he went down that road, he kind of fucked himself.
I think that follows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sad. And then there's one other like little thing about it, which is, and I guess like I don't know how to think about it. Is it always bugged me that they throw him in the back of the car, and then he's just sitting there.
I know.
Like, I'm like, wait, they're about to murder you. Like, do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you just sitting there?
I know.
And I mean, I know that like at the end of the day, they're going to kill him anyway.
Yeah.
And he probably knows that, but I mean, I don't know.
Try something.
Do something.
My God, this is your life.
Even if like they kill you in the car, at least like then,
I know. Well, that's how I felt about Old Face Andre. I was run away. They have to shoot you in the street. Somebody could know if you're really worried about people, your people being able to find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
fight to the end.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think this is the last thing, which I guess I should have picked up from before was, for the longest time, it seemed like just Chris and Snoop were the ones that were putting people in the vacants.
Yeah.
But now it's a whole, now it's everybody.
Yep,
and I guess like
exactly.
that was like the training that they were doing before.
Right.
It was like, this is how we,
how we
operationalize murdering and stashing
Exactly.
bodies. So anyway. All right. So it's goodbye to little Kevin. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, bye.
You
Bye,
did your
little
best.
Kev.
Yeah.
Okay, Omar and Ronaldo are watching from a vacant building nearby. They're watching Marlo running things in the courtyard. Ronaldo asks if Omar would have still committed the burglary or taking the money from the poker game if he knew that it was Marlo, and he says he would have enjoyed it that much more. And Omar does recognize Slim from the Barksdale days and says that connection doesn't sit right, but it sure is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Omar, again, like Omar is just, just really one of those people that you just love watching his detective work.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Poot is, I don't know, maybe he already has an STI. He's burning. I don't know if it's a friction or a venereal disease. Okay. Slim checks in with Bodie and Poot and welcomes Poot home. Poot can't believe Slim is with Prop Joe. Slim asks him how things are with Marlo, and he tells Bodie that Marlo has already had Kevin killed and apologizes for the bad news. Bodie is clearly upset by this news. He takes it silently, but he is like at first like, what outraged, but when Slim leaves, he kind of turns and has a silent, angry, solemn moment.
And you still fucking that bitch? Yeah, burning like hell, man. Then you gonna burn the bitch back. Oh, take it. Slim.
B, what up?
Alright.
Who?
It's good.
Heard you out.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Thanks, dog. And you with Prop Joe now. Never would have thought.
Yeah, well, life's strange.
Yeah. Holla.
Bodie, how you on Marlo? You okay with him?
As far as I know, yeah. Why?
What he did to your boy.
What boy you talking?
Big boy. The one rub his hands together all the time.
Kevin? What about him?
You ain't heard? Chris and Snoop walked him down an alley. He in a vacant now.
How you know that?
I seen him lay hands on the boy. And now the word out in the street. Sorry, dog. Let's roll.
Yeah, so sorry, were you done with that? Yeah, I mean, so the first thing that I was like, it felt strange to me that Slim was talking to him about this. I didn't quite understand like why he was, but then I realized that, at least as far as storytelling goes, it makes sense because Bodie was going to find out one way or the other, so you might as well have Slim deliver the message just to have the dynamic, just because we know those characters and their interactions and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I don't know why, but that Bodie's kind of standing alone on the corner.
Yeah.
That shot is really
It's
powerful.
really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that it's also curious. I guess I guess we don't necessarily know. Well, no, sorry. I take it back. I was like, why would he be this affected by the death of Kevin when he seemed to have we didn't see really any reaction about Lex? And I think it's because he's feeling the weight, the responsibility of his advice actually completely backfiring. Whereas with Lex, he knew that he gave him good advice in this time, but Lex just chose to ignore it.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Ronaldo and Omar are staking out Slim Charles from a taxi. Omar's in the back seat and he's eating a coddy, which I looked up. Did you look at what a coddy is? Oh, it actually sounds pretty good. It's mashed potatoes, egg, salt, pepper, onions, and crushed up saltine crackers, all formed into a patty with breading and deep fried.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
It does.
Yeah.
I was trying to make that sometime.
I thought they were, because Fadley's...
I thought it was codfish.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Well, hold on. Maybe it has that too. Coddy food. Oh, sorry. It is salt codfish mixed with the mashed. Salt codfish mixed with all that stuff that I just said.
Okay, now I'm going to have to look up a recipe because that sounds so good. I got to try it.
Oh, yeah. And yellow mustard.
Okay.
It's called a poor man's crab cake.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. And it's a regional snack from Baltimore.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Get a coddy, everybody. Ronaldo's in the front seat. He looks bored out of his mind. This could take all day. Later on, we go to Bodie, who has just kind of regrets about everything that happened, what they told little Kevin to do. Poot reminds him that they killed Wallace on Stringer's orders for being a snitch. And, maybe Kevin snitched too. Who knows? Marlo had to do what he thought he had to do. Bodie says, he's a cold motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Poot says it's, despite the fact that the climate is heating up, this is a cold world, and this is where we hear the epigraph. The world's going one way, people another. Yeah.
Man. And I'm the one that told him to do the right thing and go talk to the man. Don't seem that way now, do it?
I mean, you gotta look at it from Marlo's point of view. I mean, shit, how it's different from Wallace?
Because Stringer said Wallace snitched.
Yo, Kevin might have snitched too.
Man, but he didn't. And we had to do Wallace.
Yo, Marlo thought he had to do Kevin.
Man, but he didn't. That's what I'm saying. It's a cold motherfucker.
It's a cold world, Bodie.
Thought you said it was getting warmer, nigga.
World going one way, people another, yo.
Yeah, it is curious to think about how Bodie has kind of justified the two,
right?
His own behavior,
Yeah.
his own acts, and meanwhile, but he can't see Marlo kind of doing the same way.
Exactly. And of course, Poot is a little bit okay with being the cold one, I feel like, because he is the one that pulled the trigger. Bodie's the one that couldn't do it.
No, Bodie shot first, and then Poot finished the job.
Oh, he did?
Mhm.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, but Bodie was the one having the harder time with it when it came down
100%.
to it.
Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. And then, but we also don't know, or Bodie doesn't know what we know about Kevin. So that's the other part of it, right? Because Bodie doesn't know that Kevin had anything to do with Lex's murder, and Kevin and Marlo does know.
Yeah.
And Marlo also knows that Kevin's got, a big mouth.
Yep.
So none of those work in his favor. So
Right.
Bodie's kind of working with incomplete information.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So that's why he's probably so confident saying, like, no, Kevin didn't snitch. And that part is true.
Yep.
He didn't talk to the police, but he did blab
Yep.
about what happened.
Yep.
Hmm?
Well, the word about Randy is apparently getting out.
Mhm.
At school. And we'll talk about some of the other scenes at school soon too. But Randy gets shoved in the halls. He gets called a snitch bitch. And when Michael asks, what that was about, he says, I don't know.
Mhm.
And then later we have a scene in the classroom where the kids are off to play games around probability, and Randy goes up to Kareem to ask to play a game with him, to play dice, and Kareem says he won't play with him.
Mhm.
So Michael plays with him instead. And that's that
Mhm.
for the snitches. Okay, let's go to Pedos Get Punished. Michael shows Chris and Snoop who his stepdad is. It's this guy who's buying drugs. Snoop asks, it sounds almost like she says a fed, but I think a fiend.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm, mhm.
Now, copping for my mom's. Snoop asks why Michael wants him dead. The F he did to you,
Mhm.
she says.
Mhm.
And Michael will not say it out loud, but
Mhm.
Chris looks over. He seems to understand.
Yep.
And agrees to handle it.
Mhm.
Here, Finn.
Nah, probably copping for my mom's.
That's why.
Look, I told y'all. I just want him gone. Just want him away from me and Buck.
The fuck you through the journey?
All right. Take care of it, boss.
And so later at home, Michael's mom asks if they've seen his daddy. Bug says he went to the store. And she looks really frustrated. She gathers her stuff. She says she's going to go out to look for him. And then Michael tells his mom that Bug's father isn't coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a real quick thing about...
Yeah.
So when Snoop asks Michael about what he did...
Yeah.
The stepdad did. It is funny to me, like, that she cares. I don't know
Yes,
why.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know, like, what the hell? What does it mean to you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she did ask about why Marlo's told Chris to kill the security guard.
Yeah.
And Chris says he talked back, and that was good enough for her.
Right.
So it's just curious, like, she just wants to know, but it's not going to make a difference one way or the other, I guess. But then when she does ask him, Michael gives her this look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I just thought, like, it's worth taking a moment just
Oh,
to
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of something. But yeah, and then I guess that's pretty much the end of the end. Oh, and then when Michael is at home and he's talking to his mom, it's just curious to see how, like, different how his kind of the way he carries himself is completely shifted.
Yes.
He just seems much more relaxed.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
The power is back in his hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Chris and Snoop grab. I don't think we ever learned Bug's dad's name, do we?
think so
Okay,
either,
so
no.
they grab him outside of a
Mhm.
corner store. Oh
Mhm.
my god. Ooh, this scene. Okay, I gotta pump myself up for this. Then we go back to Michael at home. He just looks like he's sitting quietly and thinking, right? Then we
Mhm.
go back to Bug's dad. Chris and Snoop come up. Chris instantly accuses him of abusing boys. And he
Mhm.
says, no, I like women. And there's some talk about, like, what he was like in prison, and did you ever, get with men in prison? And It doesn't really matter because out of nowhere, Chris just starts beating him savagely. He's just punching, kicking furiously. He starts smashing his face in. And Snoop is looking on, and she looks shaken at first, the kind of the way that she's sort of just staring, with her head back. But later, it's kind of like she's shaken because he did it outside instead of inside the bacon. Oh my God. Oh, and then we go back to Michael at home, and what's he doing? He's finishing off a carton of milk. He goes into the little living room area. He's got his arm up on the wall, and he just looks at his mom with this look, and then he goes to bed.
Yep.
Yeah, and that look is like, I don't know, like that is where the dynamic has really shifted.
Yeah.
Like he is really got the power in his hands, and I don't know, there's something just like an FU in that look.
Sure.
Ooh, that was quite the scene. That was hard to watch.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
yeah. So this is one of the more fascinating little stories from All the Pieces Matter.
Okay.
So Ernest Dickerson, the director,
yeah,
apparently is a very sweet guy, and he said he tells Debbie Young, the makeup department head, Debbie, this person is going to be beat to death. He's going to be beat so badly we can't even use a stuntman. That's how graphic he wanted it to be. He said, you're probably going to have to get a puppet. So he sent the actor to a special effects place to go get the puppet created.
Oh my gosh.
And she said that I wanted him to look very contorted, so when the puppet moved, it would have a look of agony on the face. When that wooden crate arrived to the makeup trailer and I opened up that crate in front of David Simon, I have never seen David smile so big.
Oh my God.
So then Chris, the actor, Gabenge Akinagbe, said, because of talking about his own reaction in the scene, because of the circumstances and the people I was working with, and obviously the writing, it was easier to go to that place, especially since it was the first time that you see Chris emote even in a small way.
Yeah.
His first killing wasn't strictly business. He started to care about Michael, and so someone had violated someone or something he cares about. And so that's why I was able to do it.
Well, it made me think like maybe he too had been abused, and that's why he was like so vicious with it. Like it was on a personal level. So I don't know if that's something that comes out, but that is like what I instantly like when he has the immediate understanding of what Michael is talking about without Michael even having to say something, and then just so savagely beating this guy down. I'm just like, oh, this means a little bit more to him.
Yeah. Well, you are aligned 100% with Alan Sepinwall, who said that same very same thing. So good perception on you. And then just the last little note, and I think it was from Ernest Dickerson was saying this. I didn't write this down, so I'm kind of paraphrasing. He was saying that they were reviewing the dailies from after they filmed this scene, and people were like, they didn't realize that they had switched perspectives on from the actor to the puppet, the dummy, and so they were like horrified to thinking that Gabanga was like literally beating an actor to death. Like, it looked that real, and apparently there was quite a bit more that they didn't include. So
wow,
just a crazy scene. And then it's one of those things when you think about it, it's like, this is a pretty uncommon for The Wire to have any kind of real, like special effects kind of thing. It's all pretty practical, and so to have this, really was unusual. So, but I think it also, at the same time, it really is a pivotal moment for a lot of these characters. So, I'm glad that they took the extra time, the extra care in making sure it looked authentic. So,
Oh my
gosh. But yeah, it's not a scene you want to rewatch.
No,
except for the fact that the guy's a pedophile. So
I mean,
there's a little bit of satisfaction.
Bad things to happen to him for sure. I mean, like this is redemption 100%. But damn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I mean, I guess like you've already kind of touched on it, but any other thoughts that you like? Can you share? You remember like when you were watching this?
I mean, like the speed with which Gabenge is throwing the punches. Like he is so fast. Like it is just rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. It's nonstop, and they're like full swing. I was just like thinking about like from the actor's perspective, like that. Like I just can't even imagine having to like pump yourself up for the fury that has to come out at that moment. It was so. It was something.
Yeah, I mean, it really, and if you think about it totally makes sense. And like the way he snaps.
Yes.
In response to the comment, and this is where Alan Sepinwall posed the hypothesis that maybe Chris Parlow was abused in prison.
Okay.
And so
yes, he asked that specific question about in prison.
Exactly. And so when the guy said, well, yeah, of course in prison. I mean, you know what you're going to do. And he's like, yeah, I do. And then, boom, just completely turns around.
Okay, yep.
Which is just, I mean, it is, it's ferocious.
Yes. So. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whew, what a scene.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's get to Shepherdson wanting some scores.
Okay.
All right, Prez complains to Samson about how he goes in his classroom and Donnelly and maintenance are in there checking the heat. It's 80 degrees. That sounds terrible. She explains that the school cranks up the heat during those longer 90-minute classes they have, these test prep periods. Why? So that the kids will get sleepy and act up less. And so from now until they are done, everything is going to be about the test. I can't imagine teaching in an 80-degree classroom every single day. I would die.
Yeah.
Okay, now like here, like 80 degrees is hot. So that's a lot for us.
Yep.
Okay. In the Parenti Colvin class, Duquette is running a role play restaurant exercise with, is it Kwame and Darnell?
Yep.
Yeah, Kwame and Darnell. Darnell's the waiter, Kwame is the patron. And it is, I mean, they're so antagonistic toward each other, right? And they're having to be coached into, how to act and what is right to say and to be polite and all of that stuff. And so they do that. Darnell then swaps out. Kwame becomes the waiter. Albert goes into the seat. And as Colvin and Parenti are being pulled away, we hear Albert say, "Hurry that shit up."
I was wondering if you're going to get that.
My God, it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, Albert.
Yep.
Okay, well, Colvin gets pulled away by Donnelly, who brings some bad news. No matter the goal of the program, the school board still expects them to teach to the test. They thought they would be the exception. Nope, that is not the case. And not only that, but the superintendent wants to see them the next day. And Colvin says, well, let's not panic yet.
Yep.
But they probably should.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those interesting things too, right? Like, the scene with them and role playing in the restaurant, is a setup for their socializing, them, and how important that is. If you want them to kind of be part of, I don't know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of. I think if you want them to have more flexibility in where they need to, in interacting with people that aren't part of their core world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there are all these little unwritten rules. Like you're supposed to say thank you to the waiter and the waiter's supposed to say thank you back. These are just like parts of being polite and, essentially there's all these unwritten things that say like, I am here to, essentially have a peaceful interaction with you, and there are just all these little signals that they don't really understand because
they
it's
don't
all
know these things.
They as Colvin later says, they're learning for their own world.
Yeah.
But we always interact with other people's worlds on a regular basis. But because we have these basics, these skills that we're taught early on, then it's easier for us to navigate because we kind of find it because it's common language.
It's just never been modeled for them.
Exactly right. So it's curious.
Okay, let's see here. At this meeting, Parenti and Colvin talk about the restaurant visit that Colvin took the kids on, how they do. Did they embarrass us? Shepherdson says, oh my God, I hate that.
Yeah.
And they try to explain the kids will not sit still for a test. They are going to make it impossible for the other kids to do well. Shepherdson instead just shuts them down. She says that they're socializing them, not educating them, not teaching them, and insists that the focus stay on test prep. Colvin he's trying to put this what they're doing in relation to the system,
Mhm.
in relation to the corners, in relation to the kids' family expectations. Parenti explains too that socialization was part of what they actually included initially in the scope of the project,
Mhm.
but it just doesn't seem like it's going to convince her.
Mhm.
You took them to a restaurant.
Ruth Chris.
Linen napkins.
You know, silverware, more than one fork.
How'd they do?
Yeah, pretty well considering.
Did they embarrass us?
Us? No, we're fine with it, but, I mean, they were intimidated and embarrassed and awkward as hell, but it made it through.
Miss Shepherdson, these aren't the kids that are going to be able to sit still for the statewide tests, much less do well on them. These were the kids that were going to make it impossible for anyone else to do well.
So we're writing them off.
No, that's what we're not doing.
You're not educating them, you're socializing them.
They weren't being educated before. There's no point in being obtuse.
Excuse me.
Hold on. Look, what he's saying is this. I mean, you put a textbook in front of these kids, put a problem on a blackboard, or teach them every problem on some statewide test, it won't matter. None of it. Because they're not learning for our world, they're learning for theirs. And they know exactly what it is they're training for and what it is everyone expects them to be.
I expect them to be students.
But it's not about you or us, or the test or the system. It's what they expected themselves. I mean, every single one of them know they headed back to the corners. Their brothers and sisters, shit, their parents. They came through these same classrooms, didn't they? We pretended to teach them, they pretended to learn, and where they end up? Same damn corners. I mean, they're not fools, these kids. They don't know our world, but they know their own. I mean, Jesus, they see right through us.
I think we made that clear when you approved the project.
Provisionally approved.
When you provisionally approved the project, we made it clear that we would be addressing children that required socialization before they could be properly educated.
We can't lie. Not to them.
You want to talk about that?
Well, yeah,
conversation a little
gosh,
bit.
Well, I mean, I should ask you. I've been kind of not interviewing you too much about these things, but I am curious about your perspective on this whole approach, like, and not in the class itself, but actually Shepherdson's comments and kind of her perspective. Like, does this feel familiar to how?
Yes, a little bit, but I also get her perspective because a system like this, that like a program like they've set up, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, I think that some assumptions could be made, and there could be some kids with really high processing capability, high spatial skills, high math skills that don't. Then, I don't know, that they could be missing out on some foundational pieces as far as their education goes. That could be really beneficial for them later, but I don't know if they really aren't learning. Yeah. I think there is potential for problems with something like this. Kids being identified to go into a program like this, that I don't know, just because their teachers feel that they're difficult, but maybe they really are getting something out of the classroom, even if it doesn't come across on a test.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That would be my only concern.
Okay.
But this is, this is a test that they're doing, right? This is something that they are pioneering.
Right,
so
right.
it doesn't mean that this is the exact right way to do it. It's just something to try and to grow from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I guess, like the ability to socialize, the ability to be in kind of a shared space and be accommodating of other people is a prerequisite to learning, though?
I think it certainly helps. If you're going to be in a situation like this, in a classroom with other students and teachers, and moving on to life and workplaces, like functional workplaces that aren't the corner, then yeah.
Okay. I mean, because I took it a little bit, like when I'm watching this, I'm thinking like, and I think they hit the point a little bit hard. I think that's where I'm probably leading to are they oversimplifying in the way? Because like, I think to myself, like, if you're sitting in a classroom and you're, essentially frustrated by the fact that you're not following, so you're just kind of almost like trapped, you're just going to act out as a way. And so unless you have that impulse control, then it doesn't really make sense to try to get you to follow along with the curriculum.
Yeah.
So, but I take your point too, which is like it doesn't necessarily make sense to box people in. Say, well, you're clearly like hyperactive, so you can't follow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, I've had some kids with horrendous impulse control. Like, I mean, no executive functioning skills, but to say that they got nothing from my class, I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me.
Interesting.
That's not what I actually saw. I certainly saw certain subject matters resonate with those kids. And
And so, that's interesting. So do you, okay, so it was, so you found success in kind of connecting to that with them on those, so with those subject matters that they like.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Huh.
So,
okay.
But if they're pulled completely out of the classroom, they never have the opportunity to even.
These kids.
To make those connections.
Yeah.
Like, I actually like this. This is kind of interesting. I'm actually good at this. So,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see here. The next day, Shepherdson watches Prez teaching test material. He's doing it dutifully. The kids are just sitting there looking bored out of their minds. And the second that she leaves, he puts the book away and goes back to the real lessons for the day. Yes. You guys want some more Last of the Mohicans?
Yeah.
No. Or do you want to do probability? And they start taking out all the game parts. I did try to read Last of the Mohicans, and I just couldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I did that as an adult.
Was it because it was that thick, or was it because
it's just really slow, and the language is so old American English. Like it's.
Oh, is that right?
It is so hard to follow.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Shepherdson and Withers are watching the special class. And in this scenario now, Zenobia is pretending to be someone from DHS, and Chandra's someone asking about her DSS code, her food code, right? It gets heated really quickly. Zenobia is making the role harder than it needs to be. Why? Why be so antagonistic? She's got to. This is how they get attention. Chandra quickly gets angry, and then Chandra slaps Zenobia. Fight breaks out. Miss Mason, we find out, gets knocked down in that process. And Shepherdson is clearly unimpressed. She is even more unhappy when she turns to Withers, and he admits it's his first time ever observing the class. That's not good.
No.
Gotta protect Withers.
Yeah, although he kind of threw Donnelly under the bus right away, which I didn't like very much.
I know. I know.
But he kind of pulls himself.
He does. Yes, in the next scene.
Okay.
Like to see about my DSS code.
Do you have an appointment?
Why I need an appointment?
Zenobia, I don't think she needs an appointment.
Sorry, just trying to make it realistic. So I get to see somebody?
You're going to take a number and wait.
I need to see somebody right now.
Don't get angry. Anger doesn't help. It just makes people defensive. Tell her what you need calmly.
Call didn't come this month.
We mailed it.
Maybe it got stolen.
Sorry, nothing we can do.
Fuck you.
Chandra.
She ain't helping me.
That's how they do.
Just tell her what you need.
Need another card, bitch.
Chandra.
And that's real too.
Fuck you for real. Calm down, calm down. Go with Miss Mason.
Put your hands up.
I'll get the school police.
She was like,
Typical day?
I wouldn't know. My first time.
Your first time.
Mrs. Donnelly oversees this project.
Okay, well, afterward, they have a meeting. Shepherdson just tears into the program. What are they learning? She wants to know. Colvin, Parenti, Duquette, they all try to explain what's going well in the class. I think it's somebody who asks, it's Shepherdson asks, how many of them could go back to a regular class? They say, well, Naaman, Darnell, and Zenobia probably. That is it. 3 of the 10. It doesn't seem like a lot. Donnelly supports it, though. She says that's a tremendous achievement. Withers says he trusts what Donnelly says. Goes with what she says. Mason, however, the one that got knocked down, says the project is flawed.
Yeah, I actually don't really know what Miss Mason's role is here.
I don't know either.
So it's curious. I mean, she was the one who would go for a walk with the kids when they needed to go for a walk.
Oh,
right. But
yes.
I don't know, like, is she part of, so she must be part of the school.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know exactly.
Or maybe she is the school counselor.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because Miss Duquette.
Yeah, she's
is part.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's from off of the
right. Exactly.
campus.
So okay, that makes
outside
sense. Yeah. So
outside the school.
It is curious, like, you know, you have Donnelly is, you know, in support of it, and but then you have all this resistance otherwise. I don't know. I don't know what I would have necessarily done, but
yep.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that
it is.
You know, Miss Mason, if you can't get her on board, then, or, you know, it would have been nice, like, I guess, if they'd kept trying to, like, make sure she was comfortable with it,
right?
You know, but it sounds like she had been disengaged with it for a little while anyway, such that this is her response.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out if, like, is it just because she got pushed down and she was still feeling the effects of that? That's why she's on. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I think so.
All right.
Personally.
Okay.
Herc in hot water. Herc visits Bubbles. He's got drink and food in hand. He's all sorry. He is asking for help getting his missing camera back. Bubbles is furious.
Yep.
We know Herc broke his last promise to be there. You know, Bubbles tells him, you know, you guys, the police drove right by me. He says, okay, you know, this time we will get you a burner phone. We're going to give you some money. Hey, here's some delicious chicken. Bubbles says, look, it's not about the money. I need help from this guy who he's like the Terminator. He keeps on robbing me. My business can't sustain this. I can't sustain this. But he takes the chicken and he eats it. So that is him agreeing, apparently. If I eat your food, I agree.
Yep.
You hungry? What you done was fucked up, man.
You don't know how bad I felt when I heard.
I mean, not only were you late, you just rolled right past. Ain't you see me getting beat?
We rolled by?
I seen you with the blue light on, man.
Whatever, look, we had a communication problem, I admit. But I'm gonna get you a phone today, and that's gonna solve it for us. You'll see. Thing is, there's this camera. Police department video camera disappeared a few weeks back. And for various reasons that I can't get into, I gotta get it back somehow.
Camera?
Yeah. This fellow Marler probably took it. I don't know if he hocked it or if he has it.
You bothering me about a camera? You supposed to have my back, remember? 5 minutes you told me.
I know. I owe him the deal. Tyrone's chicken wings? Here's the thing. I want you to put it out there that there's a $500 bounty on this camera if it comes back. No questions asked.
500.
Swear to God, I'm good for it. If it's the right camera. Here's the model and serial number.
So it's 500 for the camera and a chicken box for Bubs, huh?
It's another 100 to you if this happens. But I need this camera quick or shit's gonna fly.
Look, man, I told you it's not about the money for me right now. Okay, this motherfucker, he messing with my livelihood here. Like, always coming back, always. He's like some Terminator and shit.
I'm with you. I'm gonna do everything I can to help you out with your problem. And you're gonna help me out with mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Once again, the Andre Royal is just so good. Yeah, and even like as much as we hate Herc.
Yes.
Like Dominic Lombardozzi really does a terrific job as well.
Yes.
Because he's, you know, like I'm watching this and I'm like, God damn it, Herc! Like, why are you continuing to ask? You fucked up this relationship.
Yes.
Like, make amends. And
Yes.
yet he's like, I need, you know, here's something else I need. And
I
you're like,
know.
what the fuck,
I
dude?
know. Like, could you spend a little more time on the sorry and making
Right.
it up and
Exactly.
listening to the
Exactly.
problem before you launch in with what you
Right.
need and you want?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Because Bub's not a real person to him.
Right.
Okay, well, later he is in a car with Bubs. Bubs is in the back seat. Herc gives him some cash, more cash,
Yeah.
and then a burner. And is it Bubs that says he'll call him today or tomorrow
Yeah.
at the
Mhm,
latest?
mhm.
Yeah, okay. Herc vents to Dozerman and Sidner. He's trying to figure out how to get a story that makes sense with the whole Fuzzy Dunlop CI. He's really worried about Marimo looking that up and knowing he is full of shit. Can it be Bubs? It cannot be Bubs. Bubs is a known quantity. He's got a CI number that has been attached to you already, you idiot. Right? Sidner tells him, look, go to the lieutenant. Stop lying. This is going to blow up even worse if you don't.
What if you get the one snitch? Man, I want the cart. What's his name?
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Yeah. You get Bubbles to say he's Fuzzy Dunlop.
Except Bubbles has been a registered CI for years. Kima gave her number back when she was in plainclothes, man. And Herc, you worked with him under that number on the Barksdale stuff. So how would you fuck up the ID?
Fuck me, man.
Look, the only way to get out from under this is to stop fucking lying, okay? You grab your dick, you walk into Marimo's office, and you say, Lieutenant, I made a mistake. I attributed my PC to an informant when in fact I had it off a camera.
That I got from ISD without going to the proper channels. No. He's gonna take my stripes on this.
Look, maybe he does, but if you wait until ISD comes looking for that camera and he figures out the lie for himself, he takes your fucking balls.
Herc is scared. He says Marimo's going to take his stripes. And Sidner, again, he's just like this. Yeah, it could be worse than just your stripes, man.
I mean, and by the way, it wasn't until today where I kind of made the connection about Colvin saying to Naaman, I'll take your balls and I'll put them in a jar and I'll give them to Miss Donnelly. And then here's Sidner saying, Marimo's going to take your fucking balls. I just thought that was kind of a funny connection.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So true.
Yeah.
So he goes into Marimo's office. He starts trying to confess, kind of. But while this meeting is going on, while he's talking to Marimo, his attacker is there. He and a woman, they're just like straight up taking things from his cart. Bubs is just standing by looking at them. And as they go away, he makes the call to Herc, but Herc ignores it. He's talking to Marimo still. He's trying to say, oh, my paperwork was sloppy. Bub calls again. Marimo says, you better not answer that. He closes the phone. Marimo threatens Herc with internal affairs, says, look, you haven't brought me anything. So Herc kind of backs off. He tells Herc, if you actually bring me something on this Marlowe guy, then I can maybe let some things slide. And so Herc never even actually gets to talking about the camera, right? Because he's Marimo's an asshole. And so,
well, and he also basically gives him an out.
Yeah,
that
he does.
Like,
yes,
Herc's
as
like,
soon as
oh,
Herc
I can
hears
get
this,
out
yes,
from under this.
Exactly.
Somehow.
Yep. And also there is the like all the stuff that's coming in, the like the Lester Freeman shit.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
I guess it's just more paperwork from I guess all the subpoenas. That,
okay.
You know, I don't know what it would be, what it would have involved, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Bub sees some ladies coming out of church. He asks them for some food. They just walk on by. And then he sees the Reverend, who doesn't even acknowledge him.
Yep.
It doesn't seem very kind.
Nope.
So he calls Herc, who quickly apologizes, asks if he's got the asshole pinned down. No, he is watching Marlowe doing a drop right now. And he describes a man in a car and a black bag and a trunk. And it's the minister that he is talking about. And he even gives him the minister's license plate. Praise God. PR8ZGOT.
Yeah.
Loved it. Oh, my goodness.
Do you think that the people's reaction to Bubs, like the ladies walking out and the Reverend, do you think that was a subtle or not even that subtle commentary on church-going people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do.
That's what I
do.
I kind
people
of
who are, Christian when they're in the pews and not very Christ-like every time they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of it's not that the world lacks those kind of people, but I do feel like including that kind of I guess caricature it's not great for the perspective. I don't know.
Actually, I mean, if you look at it and like, people experiencing homelessness, churches do the lion's share of the work,
exactly,
Catholic Community Services. I'm not Catholic or anything, but I know that they do a significant amount for people experiencing homelessness. So it's probably not a very good characterization.
Yeah. Anyway, it was just one of those things that stood out to me. It was
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah. Okay, well, Herc jumps on this info.
Mhm.
He even uses the helicopter
Yeah.
foxtrot to find this poor minister. Oh my goodness. They pull the car over. He roughs up the minister. He's got him over the hood of the car. He goes into his black bag. He's dumping stuff out. And what is in the black bag is not drugs.
No.
It's some Bible.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the end. Hmm. Wow.
Yeah, just
I cannot wait to see what happens with Herc after this. Oh my God.
Yep, it's God. That's got it. I mean, I wish they'd spent a little more, like just another couple of seconds on Herc, like kind of realizing how fucked he is.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but that covers everything.
Okay.
Right? So
It does. That's all of it.
Okay. Yeah. Quick one.
That's the
Quick-ish
end.
one.
Quick, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, I just one last thing I think I wanted to mention. We talked a lot about Chris and killing Bug's dad, but I think just go back and look at his reaction at the very end.
Yeah.
Like I think just reinforces what Ellie was saying. There's so much emotion in there. You can tell he's coming from a personal place. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
It's intense.
Okay, well let's get into some of our categories. So the music, there's actually quite a bit. That's the Sound by Dirty Hearts is when Officer Walker is chasing Donut in a vehicle in the vehicle. So that's the Sound. I don't quite know if there's any. Dope Game by Ray Cash is when little Kevin confides in Marlo and then gets taken away. So again, not really, not a ton there. Be Thankful for What You Got by David Todd and William Devon is when Herc gives Bubble a cell phone. So take that for whatever it's worth. I thought this was hilarious. Stay Fly by the 3-6 Mafia is Herc's ringtone, which I just think is kind of funny. Got to Get You Off My Mind by Solomon Burke was playing when Naaman was at dinner at the Cold
Oh yes, yeah. There's very classy music going
there you
on.
go. Feeling All Right by Joe Cocker was playing when McNulty and Bunk's families are eating together. So there you go. That fits pretty well.
Yeah.
And then Slip Away by Clarence Carter is when Bug's dad buys cigarettes and is confronted by Snoop and Chris. So there you go.
Yeah, well, he
So
didn't slip away.
Little, some more subtle messaging. All right, well, let's go to the killer cameos. Did you have anybody in particular?
Maybe the minister?
That was my winner.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions were Brian Baker, played by Officer Baker, played by Derek Horton. I thought he was pretty good.
Okay, so we don't see Baker again?
I don't. If we do, it's not
like
I don't
so
think
minor.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I also like the guy who got arrested and his beer poured on his shoes.
Yeah,
by
he was
Colicchio.
good.
Yeah,
He was good.
Man, my brew,
Yeah.
my shoes. Like, man, that I hear that in my head all the time. So yeah.
He does say it with feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta appreciate that. I mean, it's just so funny because like it just feels very authentic to me. I don't know. Like that's how I would have said it if someone was doing that to me. And so it's good acting. Okay, well, let's get us to our life lessons, aka Chris speaks patronizingly to Ellie for 15 minutes. So, did you have anything for this episode?
I don't think I have anything special for this episode.
All right, so I've got 4.
Okay.
So first, with Herc and Bubs, just make sure that the push and pull of your relationships are in balance.
Yes.
Make sure it's not all give, but also not all take, but also not all give.
Yeah.
Right? Make sure that that there can drip both ways. Pretty. That one's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
This one, I speaking of old classic novels, I just finished The Grapes of Wrath.
Oh.
Have you ever read it?
Yes, I have.
What did you think of it?
I loved it. I thought it was excellent.
I could not agree more. It is. I feel like very justified in being like considered one of the finest novels ever written. So absolutely fascinating, an amazing amazing story. One of the things that they talk about is how these groups, as people were caravanning across the country from the Midwest out to California, these groups would form kind of naturally because they would find campsites, and the campsites would essentially, people would be brought in and these rules would get established. And one of the things that they talked about was what happens when you break the rules. And there were 2 possible outcomes. One, you could essentially be beaten or killed, right? If you stole from somebody else.
Yep.
But the other one is ostracization, which was the worst of the 2. You would think that being killed would be worse, but actually being ostracized is worse. And I feel like that's what's happening with Randy, is that he's being ostracized, but he's still got some people around him. So anyway, it's just one of those things that I am kind of repeating whenever I see it, is that like, if you really want to have an effect on somebody and ideally encourage them to change their ways if they wrong you, it's much better just to ostracize the person than it is to go any nuclear on them in some other way. Certainly not violence, but even just like getting mad or whatever, just like turn your back to them, and that is much more powerful a gesture, I think. So so just thought that was kind of that was kind of just a reminder to me, and because of the Last of the Mohicans, I think that was probably on my mind. So I don't have any lessons from the Last of the Mohicans as far as
I do love that movie. I
Yeah.
just didn't like the book.
Okay. Well, in that case, I mean, was at least from what you remember from the book, was it relatively close in terms of?
No.
Yeah,
there's some major deviations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. And then the next one is Colicchio, don't revel in others' misery. We are in this is the whole kind of concept of Schadenfreude. If you ever know that term, it's taking joy in other people's misfortune.
Yeah.
And Colicchio's like pouring this guy's beer out with, just like this kind of evil joy to it. It's like, come on. So, we try to be timeless here, but I will share that yesterday during the NFL games, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL and the Chiefs were knocked out of the playoffs. So it's actually kind of as a Raider fan who has had to live with the Chiefs continually winning for decades, essentially, while we suck. It's interesting because the Chiefs getting knocked out of the playoffs, that would have been something where I would have kind of I certainly wouldn't have said anything to anybody, but I would have been like, okay, well, you guys are down here in the muck with us. And there's a little bit of like, I'm trying to think of the word. It's not exactly joy, but like, I certainly wouldn't be disappointed. Right. But Patrick Mahomes tearing his ACL is like, that's just tragic. That is terrible. Yeah. And that would, there's no joy there at all. It's just like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear.
If a
Chiefs fan was talking to me, I'd be like, dude, that's just awful.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back in time for next
Yeah.
season. So there are some things that are happening these days where people are reveling in the misery of others.
Yes.
And it's just, it's not healthy. It's, even if like you allow yourself, which I think it's natural to have that reaction, but keep it to yourself, certainly, and recognize that it's just it's not healthy and that it's not something that you should spend any time on, and certainly not voice, right? There's no percentage in it. There's no value in doing that. So Colicchio, it's like, if you're gonna have to arrest people for broken windows theory and all that, and that's your directive, it's almost like Officer Baker was like that. He's like, look, I don't want to do this, so I'm not taking any joy out of this. I'm just doing what my job is, though. And so you just kind of like, this sucks and whatever. And then of course there's McNulty, who takes the complete other direction, which is like, no, you don't actually have to do this. You just have to figure out how to play the game in a way that satisfies the people up the chain who don't give a shit either way, and still do your job well without hurting anybody. So that's the ideal, obviously. But if you have to do something you don't really want to do because it's going to affect some other people, don't just like, don't celebrate it, right? Like if your job involves you like causing pain to other people, even if they are doing something illegal or whatever, let's have a little humility in it and treat people as people. I guess is where I'm going. God, I'm having this whole season, I'm having trouble laying it. All right, but the last thing is the whole thing with Shepherdson and Colvin and Parenti. I loved his comment about they weren't learning, let's not be obtuse.
Yeah.
Even though that was absolutely the worst way to talk about it. But
that didn't convince her.
But just as it is, but what I loved about Colvin is like, you have to be reasonable with your expectations of others, and you have to be reasonable with your expectation of yourself.
Yes.
Right. So this episode doesn't talk so much about, actually no, but the kids like know what their expectations of themselves are. And Shepherdson's like, no, I expect them to be here.
Yeah.
But Colvin's like, no, but they expect to be over here, and I'm using my hands. You can't see.
Yeah.
Ellie can see. And it's like, if
the
you
hands
are
far
not,
apart.
if you don't realize that your expectations are misaligned, then you're both going to be disappointed.
True.
And anyway, so. And I just thought it's a good reminder. It's just like, what are my expectations of other people? Whether it's your kids, or your friends, or whatever. Like, if you find yourself out of alignment, like, okay, let's start there with where you feel like the alignment would be.
I agree with that.
So, and I loved Colvin's whole perspective on it. It's like, these kids are not fools, and we can't treat them like, we can't play the, this, what is it, kabuki theater, right? Where it's like, oh, it's really supposed to be working this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, but it just never does. So I really liked his perspective on it. So
I agree.
Okay.
I do feel like if they'd gone in there showing some kind of like, right, Shepherdson has dedicated her entire life to the education of children.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of acted like they knew better than her.
Interesting.
Like knew what was right for the kids better than she did a little bit. Like maybe that would have had that whole thing would have had a different outcome. Actually, I don't know.
No, it's a great point, right? Because if they had gone in and said, what would you see as a successful
exactly like back to your expectations?
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
so that's a great point. Great point. Okay. Well, let's see. Always got to be looking around. All right. Well, good call out, Ellie. Thank you for that. Thank you for supplementing the terrible bumpy ride I was taking us on. All right. In terms of like how well the episode held up, I feel like a lot of the education stuff still feels pretty consistent. Like it still feels very relevant today.
For sure. Although now I feel like, this was before a lot of medications that we give for kids for things like impulse control too, right?
Interesting.
So I was kind of reflecting on, I wonder how that changes things or the dynamic and what these programs look like.
Sure.
So that was one thing that kind of came to mind. But it doesn't undo. It might help with things like impulse control, but it does not undo neglect and abuse.
Right.
And but otherwise, I think it definitely holds up in a lot of ways.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the most exciting part of the episode. Your predictions for.
It's like I feel like I should have a better handle on predictions the further we get along in this season, but I feel like it's getting harder and harder. I just feel like they're going to throw something at me that I totally didn't expect.
Okay.
But here's my best.
Okay.
Still keeping Randy's getting beat up.
Yep.
He's going to get a beat down.
Okay.
I think that's coming.
All right.
I think with the Colvin Parenti program, they're going to, the kids are going to have to do the tests. They are going to fall apart, but I think that they'll have, I don't think the program will be ending.
Okay.
I think they'll have a chance to bring them back.
Okay.
I think Shepherdson's going to say, like, they have to take the tests, but I'm not going to pull the plug on the program yet. Okay. I think Omar is going to confront Prop Joe. He's going to find out that Slim Charles is working for Prop Joe now.
Okay.
And he's going to confront Prop Joe and say, what's this connection to Marlo? Did you set me up to be Marlo's enemy?
Okay.
I think Bubs, I hope. Anyways, I hope, like, he's so smart and resourceful. I am hoping that he gets smart about his attacker and figures out some other way to get this guy.
Okay.
I'm thinking, Bubs is going to do something to take care of this attacker.
Okay.
I think that there's going to be major blowback on Carcetti with all of these little things that are going, these little, the traffic violations, tickets, arrests, and things like that. I think that's going to blow back on Carcetti.
Okay.
And I think Herc is going to get fired.
Okay.
That's my final prediction.
Herc will get fired. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at 6.
Okay.
Which is
there's something
certainly
else I
impressive.
Should be making
Do you see anything happening with Bodie and then Bunk and Freeman and the search for Lex?
Oh gosh.
There wasn't so Bodie for sure. There was something in this one, so I would be curious. Like, I don't know if there's anything that's sticking out to you about what might happen there. There was nothing with Bunk and Freeman really. So
I don't think Bodie's gonna leave. I think he's gonna stay in the game and working for Marlo and just suck it up.
Okay.
And I don't think they're gonna find Lex.
Okay.
This whole season.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it's gonna be like the Jane Doe we could never get the name for. I think we'd never find Lex.
Okay.
I think they might find other bodies.
Okay.
But I don't think they'll find Lex.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Maybe other bodies.
Some of you are like, oh, she's definitely not watching in advance because her predictions are so right. I don't know. I
promise you, listener, I'm doing my best to not give it away.
His face is there's no tells.
Yeah.
There's no tells.
Okay. Well, that is incredibly healthy. So you got 9 now, or 8 predictions. So that is very impressive. So, and you've covered pretty much everything. So,
okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Ellie, for a terrific episode. We will be back next week to cover season 4, episode 11, A New Day.
Ooh.
So until then, Ellie, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris.
And we will see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time...
You bring me something other than IID complaints, and I might have some reason to let a few things slide.